Dogs, they are part of our lives. Everyone knows someone with a dog. But did you know that increasingly, dogs are finding their way into the lives of people who suffer with debilitating mental illnesses? For these people, the dogs are not pets, but rather their lifeline back to a world that for many had been a very cruel and terrifying place.
Service dogs are different than therapy dogs. Therapy dogs are the two dogs that are in my office right now. Therapy dogs go to nursing homes, for example, or libraries, or they visit many people, and they are there to help soothe people that are going through issues when they're dealing with not being well, not feeling well. Whereas service dogs, in 1990, the American Disability Act was enacted. And when that was enacted, the whole landscape of what was available then for people with disabilities changed. And this then included those with mental illnesses. Service dogs are specifically trained for people that have a disability. They have to qualify as severely limited in their ability to function based on their mental illness to qualify for a psychiatric service dog. So these service dogs are specifically trained for that individual with that disability, with that mental illness. In the old days, we saw guide dogs. People that were blind had guide dogs. People that were mobility impaired had dogs that they used that helped them navigate through the world while they're in their wheelchairs. They would open the doors for them and they would retrieve things for them. And the dogs that I train are specifically trained for those with mental illnesses. More and more of my trauma survivors were hearing about the work I was doing and were inquiring, do you think a psychiatric service dog might be good for me? You know, what do you think this might be worthwhile to explore? And it just evolved.
Because at that point in my life, I didn't know what else would help me. I didn't know where else to turn. I couldn't turn to family members, and I lost a lot of my friends because of my relationships. I wanted to be human. I kept saying I want to be like the rest of society. I was ready to get out of the house, but I didn't know how. But if Umaya came by and, you know, she laid by my feet or she, you know, put her head on my lap, I then could at least talk about a little bit of my trauma. And so shortly after that, I gained a little trust through having a dog in therapy. I gained a little trust with my therapist. I asked her, I said, hey, is there any chance of you helping me out, you know, help me find a service dog and train a service dog? And she said, yeah, we can do that.
The process of training psychiatric service dogs is intense. Both dogs and human must bond and connect.
I think he's very empowering and he's a great dog. He gives me a lot of courage and strength. He helps me through a lot of different situations. When I'm stressed, he helps me. He's just a great dog. I have a lot of nightmares, and Bentley was told he could help me with those nightmares by waking me up. Because I have some really bad nightmares. Bentley would really help me with that.
For adults, it is challenging. For a child, even more so. But while Jane doesn't do a lot of work with children, Zach is special. And for him, Bentley has already made a difference.